everybody, welcome back to the Krita tutorial. Today we're just going to go over a couple of these settings that changed in Krita 5.3, just to give you an overview of some of the things that they added, modified, or updated. This is just for people who don't need a full tutorial, so if you just needed like a quick rundown of a couple things that were updated or changed, this video is for you. If you want full in-depth tutorials, those will be coming. I just wanted to give this brief overview first because a lot has changed and I think it's important just to give the brief overview. So one of the biggest changes in Krita was the text tool, so I'm going to show you that really quick. So we need to do a vector layer, of course, because text is vector. We're going to click on the text icon and we're just going to start typing. So you can see automatically things that are different because before we had text box pop up and we had to make all of our changes there. So that's a little bit different now. You can see if I select this, I can change the color really easy. If you go to tool options, this looks way different. And if you want to actually modify the text, you have to go to settings, dockers, and text properties. Now this is very similar, well, I would say almost exact to other programs that have your paragraph section, your character section, and then you have a preset section where you can save special settings that you always want to access. You don't have to keep changing things later on. So that's where that will go. But you have your font size, your text align, you have your character where you can change the font style, the line height, just the usual stuff. So these arrows, if you start changing things, it will revert it. If you want to add more options to this, let's say I just want to add text decoration, that removes it. It doesn't revert it to default. So there's a little bit of UI mayhem going on here, but nothing that removes functionality. It's just little things. Functionality wise, this is fantastic. I was playing with it. I didn't have any issues. The only issue I had was it did crash when I did text on a path in a very large file size, which I did on my stream. That may also have just been user error in terms of I was streaming at a large file size. My computer may not have appreciated that, and I was trying to do something crazy in Krita in that large file size. So I'm going to test it out just to verify if it's repeatable with a large file size or if it's just because I was streaming and my computer just wasn't having it. So that's where we can change all this. We can change the font size. It's immediate. You don't have to wait for it. We can center it. We can right align it, all that good stuff. I don't remember what this does, but there's just stuff you can do. You can change the font. You have the preview of the font still, which is nice. If you want multiple fonts, you can still do that. Just select what you want. Now I have 3 fonts going on here. All that fun stuff. And then I'll do a text on the stroke. I have my box here, go to my text tool. Now, if you are used to doing text in other programs, you know that that little line under the T is to put the text on a stroke. And then if you go inside the shape, that's text within the shape. So if we go to in the shape and we hover over that stroke, we now have the place of our text on the stroke. We can move it inside, outside. To me, this is pretty intuitive if you're used to using text in other programs already. I usually do it in Affinity. And this is pretty much the same. It just looks different. And if you want text within the shape, we can go and put the text there. And that's pretty much it. And we'll go over all the nitty-gritty in 2 other videos. But that's just something major within Krita that I want to kind of briefly go over. Another system that's changed within Krita is a selection. So we have this nice little bar that pops up whenever you use the selection tool. So we actually close that, make a new selection. This I personally find very helpful. If I select something and I move it, like, okay, I move the square over here, I'm done. Go back to my selection tool and I can just hit that little X and it's done and over with. I don't have to worry about it anymore. That's very helpful. If you want to invert it, you can. Oops, hit the wrong button. So now we've inverted our selection. You can crop to that selection if you'd like. There we go. Now it is going to the boundaries of the selection tool. So here it just duplicated it to a new layer, which is nice. So it just speeds up a lot of things you may use for your selection process. We also have an update to the assistant tools. So here we have a new one called Curvilinear Perspective, which looks like this, and I'll make a separate video on that. We also have a UI change to the little bar here that has all your settings for your assistant tools. So we can actually copy and paste it automatically versus manually doing it, which is nice, and it keeps it in the same spot. So if for whatever reason you wanted two separate assistant tools, but you wanted them to be in the same area, like maybe one of your perspective, 2-point perspective, you want it to be just slightly wider, you can do that. We also have a new tool up here, which is the comic panel editing tool, sorry. So what that's gonna do, just a quick overview, we're just gonna quick look at this. Let's just say this is our comic page. This is a one big giant panel. And before we had to make separate shapes for each panel and modify them individually. We no longer have to do that. If you want to have a panel be kind of like a crazy angle, split it into multiple pieces here, like this is pretty cool. Now I have my panels done. That took literally seconds. I've already kind of tested this out in one of my actual comic pages for one of my comics I'm working on. This literally saved me so many headaches, and it looks much cleaner than the process I was using before. So I recommend trying this out. There are other settings here, and we'll go over that in a separate video as well. But if you just want to jump in and play with it, you can absolutely go do that now. We also have a new filter called Propagate Colors filter, and what this is going to do is extend your artwork past the point it is right now. So we're going to filter. I'm actually going to put a couple colors down just so we can see. All right, so this is our color blob here. We're going to go settings. I'm sorry, filter, colors, and propagate colors. You can see here, it took the colors I had from that shape and it extended them completely. So that is way too far. So we are going to keep moving this down. You can see by just a quick setting hitting restricted, we can expand this completely. Now, like I said, this is mainly for 3D textures. However, if you are doing prints or stickers or things and you need to extend your artwork past the bleed and the cut line, this is a good way to do it for just extending that artwork. You can change the pattern and all that good stuff. And I'll probably do a video on this later in the future. Under settings, dockers, and grids and guides, we do have a new isometric option. This is the original, we're going to show grid, and this is the new one. You can see we have 3 color options automatically. Before we only had one. You can see how that's just not pleasing to the eye, especially if you're working on things. So you can change the color on each individual line if you'd like. I'm just going to leave it by default, but you have a little bit more flexibility in your grid. Like just comparing the two, we only have left and right angle, cell spacing, and main style. And now we have the number of subdivisions we can add. Maybe you want this to be bigger. You can change the main color style, the subdivision style, and the vertical style. You can do the grid offset like you could do before. So it's just a little bit easier to work with if you like to use the isometric grids in Krita. And last but not least, my favorite tool forever is your pop-up palette. We can now add dockers to our little pop-up palette here. So if you click on this little arrow, we can go and take a look at all the dockers we would like to show up here. And I only have the on-canvas brush editor and the layers. Those are the only dockers I would really personally care about at this time. However, if you like to work in canvas only mode and you want to access other dockers periodically through the pop-up palette, you can absolutely add whatever it is you need to. You can add the comics manager if you want. Maybe you just don't like it off to the side like I have it. You only want to look at it periodically as needed. You can do that. So if I hit OK, now I can look at the comics manager and I have all my pages here and I can just look at them when I want. That's just a quick overlook about Krita 5.3 and some changes that have been made, along with some new features. If you have any questions about these or something specific you'd like me to go over, I will be doing the text tool updates in the next video. That'll be a 2-part series just because there's a lot to go over. But if you have other features you'd like me to cover, let me know in the comments below. I will do my best to answer your questions as they come through, of course. So make sure to share this video with people who are getting used to Krita and may need a quick update video on what's changed. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.